Luke Rimmel. Alright, so I'm going to start off by asking you, have you ever been in a situation where one of your siblings or friends did something wrong and you wanted them to get in trouble for it, but they didn't? Instead, they were forgiven. Maybe what they did wrong was they offended you and you knew and thought that they should deserve getting in trouble, but they didn't. Or maybe you've done something wrong and you've gotten in trouble for it, but when your sibling or friend gets in trouble for doing it, and you think it should only be fair that they get in trouble for doing it if they did that exact same thing, but they didn't get in trouble, they were forgiven. Well, in Luke 15, verses 11 through 32, the prodigal son wasn't just forgiven, he was celebrated. Also, how did that make you feel when your sibling or friend was forgiven? Did that make you angry? Did that make you upset? What was your reaction to it? Did you want to get even with them in a way? Did you treat them badly afterwards? Today I'd like to teach you that we need to love like God. Please turn to Luke chapter 15, and I'm going to start in verses 1 and 2. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to hear him, and the Pharisees and the scribes grumbled, saying, "This man receives sinners and eats with them." So what's happening here is Jesus is spending time with these sinners and these people in wrong. And the Pharisees are not very happy about it. They don't think he should be spending time with them and probably think that he should have nothing to do with them, rather. So my first point is going to be, do you know someone that isn't a Christian or doesn't follow God? And how much time do you spend with them, if any? Do you have a friend from maybe school that doesn't believe in God, maybe? And are you spending time with them? Or do you not spend time with them at all? Continuing in verses 11 through 30, this is the parable of the prodigal son. And he said, "There was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me.' And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had and took a journey into a far country, and there he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in that country and began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. And he was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. So now he spent all that he has, and he is in need because there's a famine. He wants food, he's hungry, and he wants what these pigs are eating, but only the pigs get it. He's not getting anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants.' So now he knows what he did was wrong, and he needs to go back to his father. And he's better off there. But he also knows his father's probably not going to be very happy with him. At least that's what he thinks. All right. And he arose and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let's eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found," and began to celebrate. So the son returns and is expecting his father not be happy about him for what he did. But his father loves him. He's happy to have him back. And he runs up to him, has compassion for him. And the son was probably not expecting this. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing, and he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has received him back safe and sound." But he was angry and refused to go in. His father came out and entreated him. But he answered his father, "Look, these many years I have served you, and I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him." So the older son comes back, sees what's going on. He's not very happy with it because he's done nothing wrong, and he's basically just treated normally. But his younger brother has done wrong. He's come back. And now they're actually treating him well and celebrating about him. And his older brother, as I said, is not very happy about that situation. So my second point is going to be, how do you treat them? How do you treat those that are in wrong and don't follow God? Do you help those at all? Your friend at school, for example. Do you spend time with them at all? Do you encourage them? Excuse me. Do you pray for them? Or have you ever just ignored them or not helped them? How do you think the older brother felt? Clearly, he didn't appreciate it very much. Have you ever encouraged someone when they were baptized? Or when they came forward? Did you treat them well? Did you encourage them? Finishing in verses 31 to 32. And he said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is now found." So the father explained that it was fitting to celebrate, and also that the older brother should be rejoicing with them, for his younger brother that was lost is now found. So again, my points are, do you know someone that isn't a Christian or doesn't follow God, and how much time do you spend with them, if any? And second, how do you treat them? Have you encouraged them to follow God? Have you ever considered inviting them to church with you, or showing them the Bible? So I would like to conclude by saying that those that were in sin or in trouble should still be treated with love and be celebrated when out of trouble. Don't treat them badly, even when you did nothing wrong. I'm going to challenge you this morning to be less like the Pharisees and less also like the older brother. And I will encourage you that this is how we need to love like God loves us. Thank you.